this is the link when you go to travel state, and it's very important to let you know, guys, there are scams. There are people who are trying to scam you. Know that you can go to the US Department of State. So if you see a way, if you go register and you fall on a website that is not the state.gov, nuja kwiyandikisha kuri iyi visa bakakujyana ku yindi website itari US Department of State cyangwa se travelstate.gov, uzamenye ko iyo ngiyo ari abashaka scamming. Okay, so that's number one. So who is eligible? As you know, they choose 55,000 people every year. So who is eligible? Abantu bava mu bihugu, countries that have less people, fewer people in the US in the last 5 years. Abantu bafite abaturage bake bava mu bihugu byabo bari muri America, which, you know, most African countries, they are in the you know, a part of the countries. And there's some, actually, I've had Australian clients, I've had Kenyan clients, I've had you know, some other African clients, and the Rwandans, of course, but I don't, you know, most of them don't come through me. Okay, so requirement number one, so you have to be a native. Ni ukuvuga ugomba kuba waravukiye mu gihugu kiri mu bihugu nyine bikenewe bifite abaturage bake mu myaka 5 ishize. Hano berekana ibihugu that they don't need: Bangladesh, Brazil, China, Canada, Colombia, El Salvador, Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, Nigeria, Pakistan. Those countries, if you are a citizen, you were born from those countries, then you don't qualify. And it's not like a citizenship. You've been native. That means, let's say I'm Rwandan and I'm also American. So, but the country that counts is the country I was born in. My native country is Rwanda. So what igihugu wavukiyemo, hana igihugu ufitemo nationality. So let's say a Nigerian who is also let's say a Kenyan, that's an example. If you were born in Nigeria, native Nigerian, you count as Nigerian. So where you were born, that's number one. I think everybody knows that. Requirement number two, each applicant must meet the education and work experience requirement. So the requirement, you have to have a high school degree or a diploma, secondary school diploma, or you have to have some type of 2 years of work experience within the past 5 years in an occupation that requires 2 years of training or experience to perform, right? So sometimes, let's take the example of Rwanda, right? Say wize secondaire ugeza muri wa gatatu, then ntiwatsinda ujya gukora training, ujya gukora ibijyanye 9 years. I don't know, maybe I'm probably confusing them, confusing nago business. Let's say you have a practical training and there's this website. Let's go there a little bit. Itwereka imirimo that shows us some occupational key search, like dental assistant, for example. They say you train to be a dental assistant, or let's say technician. Let's see if we do technician, what's gonna happen. Okay, so you see, they give you so many. Let's say you don't have a diploma, you don't have a thank you, Fire. Please share, like, and you know, bring your people, bring your friends, because so many people ask me, they send me DMs and messages. I know, and you know, guys, I came to the US with this visa, so that's why I take a moment nkababwira, je vous communique ibyo aribyo. So because I know how important it is for certain people from different countries who don't have another option or easier options, or who don't have money to pay for the student visa and student or school fees in the US anyway. So this is a good opportunity. Okay, say you did your high school and then you didn't finish high school, and then you take some training. Here, this website, it shows different types of training or practical training or 2 years of experience in this type of work. You know, there are technicians. I just Google technicians. There could be other stuff. You could be environmental science technician. You could be a traffic technician, bioinformatics, robotics technician, biological. So you can you go on this site and you will know, okay, if your 2 years of work experience in the past 5 years or training, which requires 2 years of training, is eligible. Okay, so number one, eligibility, you have to be native of the countries. Number two, you have to have high school diploma, secondaire. Tiango say you have 2 years of training or experience in one of the Department of Labor's accepted work or type of trainings or occupations. Okay, all right. So the entry period. So like I said before, registration October 5th, 2022 until November 8th, 2022. Okay, so but don't wait until the last week. Just right now, go ahead and register. Okay, so how do you do that? So you have to go online, but after that, so that's what you're gonna look at. Okay, you go online here. On this dvprogramstate.gov, okay? And so that's where you're going to entry. So let's pretend we're about to enter our information here. Begin entry. Okay, you have to put this. So these you know, these characters, you know, they just want to know you are not a robot. You know, but you know, the robots, fake accounts, fake people, machines. So you have to do that. So you have to put your last name. Okay, last name is last name or family name. So last name, if you're Rwandan, you're Rwanda, ni izina ry'ababyeyi, you know, or family name. Izina wakwise nyine riri mu ndangamuntu yawe. If you don't have a passport, indangamuntu yawe. Family name, first name, middle name. If you don't have a middle name, like most countries, most people in Rwanda, for example, they don't have middle name, you only have 2 names, or you have 2 first names, you put on it. So for example, I put my name, Gasana, and I put Claudine. I'm just doing this. You don't need how you do that. If you have a middle name, if you have 2, let's say you have Claudine, I don't know, Claudine, Marie, let's say my name is Marie Claudine. I'm gonna put Marie Claudine, because that's how in your ID, in your passport, that's how it is, right? And no middle name. Or if you have middle names, or if you have 2 family names, you are going to enter. So if you have a passport, however your names appear in your passport, that's how you're gonna appear. Or actually, however your names appear in your birth certificate, that's how you're gonna put your name. So gender, female, and date of birth, you know, put your date of birth, where you were born, just exactly as it is in your paperwork. City, Kigali, country, put Rwanda or Uganda, I don't know. Are you claiming eligibility? Yes, because that's where you were born. Which country you were born? Because remember, one requirement, number 1, is to be eligible from the country. Then you're gonna select yes. So you have to have a photo, okay? And here they give you the instructions However, wherever you live, if you go on in a photo studio or you tell them I need a passport size photo, color photo, they take a picture and then you can upload, okay, upload on your phone or upload on your computer, and then you get to choose a picture, right? Like if it's on your desktop, you can choose. I don't think I have any picture right now. Do I have any picture right now? No. And then let's say just choose. See? Choose a picture. This is the wrong picture, so that's not my picture. So if you have a picture, you have to upload it. And then your mailing address. Your mailing address is very important. Your mailing address, you have to put, you know, I know some in, for example, in Africa, some you don't have the address line. So if you don't have, you can just put the city. But if you do have that, then you put the address here in the line 1, line 2, the city, the district. If you have a province or city or county, you put like city of Kigali or Southern Province, postal code, non-applicable. You say no, there's no postal code. Country, then you put Rwanda, you put Uganda, you put Kenya, you put Cameroon, Tanzania, you put Australia, okay? So now, here it's very important to put country where you live today. I live in the United States. So this is one thing, you can live, ushobora kuba uba mu gihugu kitari tuvuga uri hano muri Amerika cyangwa se uri muri Saudi Arabia cyangwa se uri muri I don't know, Uganda, uri muri anywhere aho uba. So you have to put I live in let's say the Uganda. Okay, so the phone number. This is very important because where you live today, that's where they will send you if you are selected, that's where they will send your visa, like to send you to take the visa interview. We will talk later on other options in case you are selected, okay? Because yeah, we talk about that. So your phone number, your email address is very important to put your email address and then confirm your email address because, you know, they will look at, usually you communicate via email nowadays, okay? Okay, so now they're gonna ask you, what is your highest level of education? You know, if you have some high school, vocational school, some university courses, university degree, some graduate level courses, master's degree, doctorate courses, doctorate degree, you choose. Okay, so now this is very important. Are you currently married? What is your current marital status? Are you married? Are you unmarried? Are you divorced? Are you legally separated? So this word legally separated, it is not to be used. Say you have your wife or you have your husband and then you just kind of took a break, maybe mwaratandukanye yasubiye iwabo se cyangwa se yagiye hanze mbega ntago muri kuri page and nothing has happened. You didn't file any paperwork. You are still married because you have to be legally separated. A legal separation is different from someone who's just, mutandukanye, you just go your way, they go your way, or say you take a break. You have to be legally separated. So, are you married? You are single. Married and my spouse is not a citizen. Let's say some people you may have a spouse and maybe you are in the process. I don't even know why you do that, but people do it. Your wife is a lawful permanent resident. You can, and you try to just wanna try your chances, you can do that. You are married and your wife is a citizen, yes, okay. Or you are married, and my spouse is not. So that's why you're gonna, most people will check this, because if you are married and you come in with your spouse, and that means you both not citizens, you both not lawful permanent residents, okay. Are you divorced? Are you a widow? And again, like I said, legally separated means you filed paperwork. So because if you say you are legally separated, that means there's a paperwork that was filed It actually says here though, legal separation is an arrangement when a couple remain married but live apart for following a court order. There has to be a court order to say you are legally separated. So if you are not legally separated, you must include your spouse because you are still married, okay? All right, okay. So now how many children? Here, this is where sometimes people get carried away and they try to find children they don't have, okay? So if you have 2 children, you're gonna put 2 children. You have to include all your biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren who are unmarried and under the age of 21. So no, let me say that in Kinyarwanda. So abana, ugomba gushyira abana wabyaye biological, abana wawe wabyaye, abana wadopse, ni ukuvuga ufitiye uburenganzira bwo kurera byemewe n'amategeko, legal adoption. Stepchildren ni ukuvuga abana ufite kubera washatse umugabo cyangwa umugore afite abana deja, ni ukuvuga ko muhujwe na mariage. Abana bagomba kuba ari unmarried, ni ukuvuga abana badafite batashatse kandi bari munsi y'imyaka 21 mu gihe wowe wohereje in application, okay? So you must include all eligible children even if they don't live with you. You have to put all of children. So sometimes you say, oh, I have 5 children, but 3 of them, they don't live with me. It doesn't matter where they are, you have to put all your children, okay? Okay, and then you continue here. It's not gonna let me go on because I didn't. Anyway, so let me just put the date. Let me put this is not my date of birth, by the way. I'm just okay, city, Kigali. And sometimes you may not know the city you were born in, you just put unknown, okay? Country, say Rwanda. Okay. Okay. And I already put a picture. Mailing address. Let me just put because I'm not gonna. I just want to go to the next page for you to show you. I don't know if you guys have done this before. I say Uganda, right? Oh, Rwanda. I don't remember. Anyways, phone number. And put my office phone number. Excuse me. You guys like, share. We're talking about the diversity visa, trying to see how we can, how do we in real time register for you? Like if you are now wondering how can you register, again, you go to you see the website dvprogram.state.gov. Do not let anybody take you to another website or send you another website unless you hire a professional. Some people are doing it, you know, like maybe because they know how to do it, but make sure even if somebody's helping you to do it, make sure they are doing it, you know, they're doing it, so I'm married, some 2 children. They're doing it, let them show you which website they are using, okay? Because you want to make sure they're doing it right. Anyway, it's not going back because I don't know why. So a picture. So yeah, it's not gonna go through. Ntabwo bizakunda niba ifoto yawe itagize. Let me put this on. Niba idafite the measurements that you need. Okay, so now, yeah. So the picture must be, here are the measurement of the picture, must be between 600 and 600 pixels. Okay, so this one I'm choosing is not good. I don't know if I have another one. Let me see. Probably do. Trying to see a picture that I can. Nope. Nope. Wait. Anyway, so I don't have a picture to post, but you get the idea. So once you do, then you continue. So the most important information is already there, right? To yeah, confirm. Okay. So now let's go back to some of the questions people ask me. All right. Okay, here we go. Oops, no, that's me. Okay, diversity visa. How do you go back? Okay, so let me go. Let me see if I can open it. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? You know, are you guys? Are you guys? Do you have any questions? Fire, are you still here? Fire TV. Any questions for me? Okay, let me do this. Kasuri Nyuma. Any questions for me, guys? Okay. Okay, let me see the instructions. Okay, here, instructions, okay? So the instructions. So I had questions, people ask me, I say, this year, do we need a passport? Do you need what? So let's go, let's see what we got here. Okay, so like, you know, here actually the instructions, they are very clear. They tell you your last name, like I was saying, the country, your mailing address, where you live, email address, blah, 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 that, all that stuff, okay? And all the children. Okay. And then they ask you to submit a photo. Like I said, the photo has to have the measurements they want. So when you go to a photo studio, they know how to take these pictures. So and then you have to put, give me one moment. So now let's go to frequently asked questions, okay? So what do terms native mean? We already talked about this, the country of your where you were born, not where you are, where you live. So right. So what is that? Oh, well, this is for people, let's say you are Nigerian, then you have a wife who is maybe Rwandan. So there's what's called chargeability. So your wife can apply instead of you, because if you know, if you are from Nigeria, for example, you don't qualify for the diversity visa. So your wife can apply for you. I mean, can apply if she's from Rwanda, or your husband she's from Kenya, or you know, Cameroon. I mean, I'll just say these countries that are eligible. Okay, so we talked about the educational requirement. So now let's look at what documents do you need to provide, okay? Yeah, if you are in the US, yes, you can enter. We already talked about when can I enter my chance. Like sometimes if you are married, yeah, you can apply, your spouse and yourself can apply to, you know, increase chances. Okay. Right, so we encourage people to prepare, like I was saying, to prepare on yourself or for somebody you trust. But if you have someone do it for you, then make sure, you know, they show you which website they are, where like the entry, this is the website, yeah, check, this is the website, dvprogram.state.gov, okay? Okay. Right, so you can save it for right, so you have to submit one time. You cannot save and continue. So you have to, once you start, can I save the form online and finish later? No. Niba utangiye form, ntabwo ari form nini, you have 60 minutes, ugomba kuba warangije ukayisubmitinga, ntabwo wavuga ngo pause or save and then do it later, okay? You have to do it right now, okay? Yes, so the pictures, Right, so this is if you now have a scanner and you can have somebody send it to you and make sure the requirements or the measurements are met. Okay. Okay. All right, so this year it seems there is no passport requirement, okay? Because last year there was a passport requirement. This is good news because so many people were not able to apply last year because they were requiring for a passport. But now, there's no passport requirement. However, if you are selected, you have to have a passport to apply. So, I mean, you might as well get a passport if you really wanting to go out, live abroad anyway. You need a passport. Okay, so now after you hit submit, what happens next? So after you hit submit, that means you have entered your chances of winning your lottery. So, which means you have to wait the results for this one. Numara Africa, uzawana confirmation number. Make sure to keep your confirmation number, okay? So you should receive the confirmation number immediately, okay? So once you do, make sure to, hold on. Yes, if you hit submit, right, so if you hit submit, you will get a confirmation number. So if you click submit and you don't get a confirmation number, that means your application was not recorded. You have to do another entry. So they can be vulgar in both languages. Nurangiza kushira more information zose ukaklika submit. Ugomba guhita automatiquement confirmation number, an electronic confirmation number, okay? Nutayibona or notice. If nutayibona ukuvuga yuko application yawe itaciyemo, ugomba guhita submitting another entry, okay? So once you receive your confirmation number, do not resubmit. So you have to keep your confirmation number because on March 6th, I mean May 6, 2023, next year, that's when you're going to go back in the DV program state to check if you were selected. They're not gonna send you, where do we send it? Yeah, so if you are selected, so if you got among the people lucky to have your chance to come to immigrate in the US, like if you, so if you got selected, so the USCIS, we don't directly notify you. So that's why you have to know you're gonna go back to DV and put your confirmation number on May 6, 2024, okay? 23, sorry, because the Department of State does no longer inform people who have been selected. They will not inform you immediately. They will inform you if it's time for you to go for an interview. I mean, to apply if your number is current, for which we're gonna see in a minute. They will inform you if your number is current, and then you are ready to send your applications. But they will not inform you on May 6, 2023 whether or not you have been selected. You have to. That's why you have to keep your confirmation number and go ahead and check whenever it's time on May 6, 2023 and through September 30th, 2024, okay? So please don't lose your confirmation number, because if you lose it, then I don't know how you're gonna be able to do it. So you're unable to check your status. So it's very important you do not lose your confirmation number, okay? Anyways, so, right, so then I think that's it for the selection, I mean the registration. Now I want to talk a little bit about the diversity. So I'm going, I guess, you know, from 2024, now let's go to 2023. So as you know, or you may know, and I'm going to the visa bulletin, people who qualify for who won last year, who have DV 2023, as of October 1st, they are eligible to start applying. And it's very important, as soon as you are eligible. So once you are selected, once you click and you say you have been selected, you will receive a number, right? It will say DV 2020. So for this current year, 2023, and then a number, like maybe 10 or 100 or 1,000. So and then you have to go to the Department of State, against travel state, put the visa bulletin, okay? To see where, if your cutoff date is listed. So for example, to apply, and this is the October visa bulletin. So people who are applying in October right now. So if you have a friend who won the DV 2023, this is the time to start applying. How do you know your date is current? You go on the visa bulletin, okay? And this is very important because I know people who took time to apply, and last Friday, September 30th, they received a message from the embassy saying, I'm sorry, we can't process your visa anymore because the administrative time to review your case has passed. You know, as you know, let's say you have diversity visa, you won the diversity lottery in 2022. That's it, 2022. You must have a visa in your hand before September 30th. You must have had a visa in your passport before September 30th, 2022. If you did not, you received an email from the embassy telling you, sorry, too late, and you missed out. Okay, so that's why right now, that's passed, we're gonna talk about what are the options to see if you can get it in a minute. But let's talk about for those now who have DV 2023. This is your year. The fiscal year in the United States starts in October. It's weird, but right now in the fiscal year, in the administrative year, we are in the 2023. So if you have DV 2023, if you won the lottery in DV, if you were selected for DV 2023, you have to, put it in your browser visa bulletin, and then you have to scroll down to diversity visa immigrant cutoff. This is the cutoff to apply. So yeah, so okay, here you are, month of October. Okay, so like I say, if depending on where you have a DV Africa 100, 500. See, everybody who has a number below 5,700, for all chargeabilities, all countries except these countries, you can go ahead and put in your application as soon as possible. If you are in the United States, you can go ahead and apply for adjustment of status. Make sure to put on your form adjustment of status, expedite DV 2023, so that they go ahead and expedite your application. So last year I was able to help a few people adjust in the US, and then we put, actually somebody came to me, it was in towards the end of June, to apply for adjustment of status here in Texas. Usually to apply for an adjustment of status in this state of Texas, because of the backlog, it takes a year or 2 years to get an interview, to get anything. But because it was the diversity visa and it's time sensitive, we put on the form, we put everywhere, expedite. We use a red pen, red marker, expedite DV 2020. This year we're gonna put expedite required DV 2023 must adjudicate before September 30th. Okay, so if you are here, then you can adjust as soon as your number, when you receive your selection paperwork, you have a number. If your number is below 5,700, that means you can go ahead and apply now. If you are in another country, that means you have to go ahead and submit your application, the DS260, pay the visa fee or the diversity visa fee, and send in your application for a chance to be called in for an interview. Because, you know, by September 30, 2023, you must have a visa, not pending, a visa stamped in your passport, okay? So that's why you need to know this visa bulletin, it is very important, okay? All right, so, and you know, if you have any questions, please, because I don't see everybody unless, excuse me, you can post the questions in on the, I'm holding my phone, so you can post your question in the comments, okay? So now, I've had issues, so some people, like I was saying, who had diversity visa 2022, and then they went for an interview, and the embassies just sat on their case and told them, oh, well, sorry, you have to come pick up your passport. It's past September 30th, so we can't get your visa. In my opinion, that is not your fault. That is the fault of the government. So there's an option to sue, to bring a legal action against the Department of State and the embassy, that, you know, because some people end up getting messages, and I wish you guys can share and subscribe. I mean, and bring people here, because this is only way I'm gonna talk about is, if outside of this platform you have any questions, that means you have to contact our office. We have to have a consultation, a paid consultation. So please bring your friends to come, because based on the questions that I receive, I come here and, you know, spend this time. I don't know how much time we have been talking right now, and explain. So for those who had, who were selected, abagize amahirwe bakaba selected DV 2022, and then you filed your paperwork and it was pending in the Department of State and no answer, and oh, they asked you for your passport, or you went for an interview, but for some reason they didn't get to you to call you to get your passport. Instead, on September 30th, they call you or text or email you to come and get your passport because it's past the time. I think you have a good cause to bring in a legal action. So meaning you can file a legal action against the government, because that's really, it's called mandamus or APA. It depends. I'll be happy to have a consultation with you then to see, because if you did all you can, if your number, you filed your especially those in the who filed the consulate. If you file and then the embassies just didn't call you, the consulate didn't call you for an interview, you can go ahead and bring a legal action. Who knows? It may take years, like it's taking for the diversity visa 2020 and 2021, which I'm getting to in a minute. Please bear with me. But hopefully there will be a resolution, because if you file your forms and it took the government months and months, meaning the consulate, the embassy, no email, no updates, and then on the 30th of September they tell you, oops, sorry, too late. I think that's abuse of discretion, and there is a cause for legal action. So let me say that in Kinyarwanda. Niba warufite waratomboye visa 2022, uka-apply nkuko babwiye yuko as soon as you get your current, your appointment is current, or your cut-off is current, uka-applyinga agashira igihe embassy ntiguhamagare, cyangwa se bakaguhamagara muri interview ariko bagatinda kuguha passport cyangwa se visa muri passport, noneho ukaba last week barakoreje email bakubwira yuko sorry, byarangiye yuko igihe cyarenze utakibonye visa. ndemeza ndibaza ko ufite ishingiro mu gutanga ikirego. Bishobora gutwara igihe kinini nk'uko bino bya diversity visa 2020 na 2021 biri gutwara igihe kinini, ariko you never know. Nakubwira tanta chance kugerageza ukagira legal action. I'll be happy to help you. Obviously ntago tubikorera ubuntu, keretse niba ari a group of people, then we can see how we can do a legal action, maybe a class action. Ntawamenya ukatanga ikirego kugira ngo inkiko zizagukiranire, kuko niba waratanze application yawe akaba hashize amezi n'amezi, noneho at the end of the September 30th akarego bakubwira yuko batakugezeho, I think that's not the Department of State did not act in good faith, so there's a reason. Cyangwa se hari ishingiro ryo gutanga ikirego. We don't know what's going to come out of it, cyangwa se igihe bizatwara, ariko nanone ntibikubuze to register for the DV 2024. You never know, so don't tenter les chances, donc tenter chance, you never know. So again, those who want the DV 2022 and who filed the applications with the KCC, and maybe they were scheduled for an interview, but the applications were complete and they were waiting for an interview. The interview never came. Or those who applied and the interview was scheduled and you passed the interview, but the consulate took forever to call you, and now they are telling you it's too late. I think you have a cause for a legal action to sue the Department of State. Therefore, the embassy is under the umbrella of the Department of State, and put your legal action there. You never know what's going to come out of it, but also go ahead and register for the DV 2024. Whichever comes first, you will take it. You can file a legal action. Right, so I'm gonna answer you, Mehdi. So you can file legal action if you, for any reason, you win the DV 2024. You can just withdraw your legal action. So just keep all your options open. So somebody asked me, Mehdi, thank you. Is an asylee allowed to DV? Yes, everybody is allowed to file. Anyone can file the DV, the diversity visa, right? So this is it's a lottery, tombola, okay? So now, if you are selected, that's where we have to, I would advise you to seek counsel if you are selected. But yeah, go ahead and put in your application. If you are selected, then that's where there is always an issue. Okay, if I'm selected and I'm an asylee, but are you an asylee or are you an asylum seeker? Because if you are an asylee, I don't see why you wanna do a DV anyway. Because if you are an asylee, you have your asylum. As you know, after 1 year, you can apply for your green card, and you don't have, for asylees, they're also eligible for fee waiver. So if you have your asylum, like you were granted asylum, maybe don't apply because there are many people who need it. But if you are an applicant, you haven't received your asylum, you're still waiting, then you can apply for DV. However, when it comes to adjust status, that's where there may be some issues, but I will always advise you to seek counsel after if you're selected and you are an asylum seeker, an asylum applicant, not asylee. Asylee is someone who has already obtained asylum, and for them, I don't think you need to, because you can apply for a green card anyway after 1 year of becoming an asylee. Okay, all right. Now, let's go to what some people have been waiting for. Okay, let me move this one. Okay, now, so many people keep asking me every day almost. So what's up with the DV 2020, DV 2021, okay? First of all, I wanna move this bar here so I can show you. So everybody doing good? Keep sharing, keep you guys sharing, like, comment. This is good. This helps people, like some of your friends who have questions, you know, because I don't think, I mean, you know, I'm an attorney. I see some people on YouTube, some of your friends who try to help other friends, but this is coming from me, since I'm an immigration attorney and I really have some success. By the way, let me tell you something I just forgot. If you have DV 2023, you were selected Diversity Visa 2023, and you happen to have a way to get in the United States, instead of applying through, like applying and then be waiting for the consulate to call you, if you have any way to get in the US, like you have a visa, well, technically you're not supposed to immigrate in the United States, but you know, you can always change your mind. You may be able to come in the US under the visitor's visa and file for the adjustment of status. That has helped a lot of people. Like I was telling you earlier, you know, even if you apply, say you are in the US, you have your DV and you apply in July, even if you apply in August, you have more chances of being approved while in the US faster than someone who's applying at the consulate. Okay, so that's some anecdotal or some inside information I will give you based on the practice and experience that I've had. Okay, so don't hesitate to share or comment, like. I need to see some likes, please. Can you like? No, yeah, I got one like. So I want more likes, okay? I want more likes. I want more people to come see this. And I hope people who have been DMing me are here to see what they've been asking me. Okay, so let me tell you, anytime you want to know what is what's the update on the Diversity Visa 2020, who asked me that? Somebody asked me this. Kenny, are you still here? Give me a high five, you still here, Kenny Kennedy, official. And let me know which language you want me to speak in, because you asked me this question, I told you to be patient. Are you still here? Okay, let's go. Right, so anytime you want to know, again, I don't know how many times I can tell you this, anything you want to know about this diversity visa, don't go anywhere else. Go on the travelstate.gov, Google diversity visa 2022. If you see the state.gov, that if that's the domain name, click there. Okay, that's where you are. That's where all the updates are. Like the last updated was May 3rd, 2022, because there's no updates. Okay, so if you apply for the diversity visa 2020 or 2021, and soon 2022, by the way, because 2022, so many people were left out, so many people filed for the applications and they did not proceed. I will be happy to represent you to bringing a legal action against the Department of State, because they have to use good faith to provide these visas in the allotted time. If you applied and you know, when you apply abroad, they tell you your visa, and even, by the way, even if you apply and you and then you see, I mean, your case is not moving, they are not emailing you that the interview is being scheduled, and for any reason you happen to come to the US, you can file for the adjustment of status, even if you filed with the case, the Kentucky Kentucky Consular, I never know how, KCC, okay? Even if you did, okay? You can still come and apply for adjustment of status. You just need to inform that now you are applying for adjustment of status. They will close the case with the consulate, and you will pursue the adjustment of status, because as I, you know, from experience, it's quicker to apply when you apply here is adjusting status. Again, you have to put expedite, DV must, you know, put in red, use red pen, red, you know, red marker, and they will be adjusted in time, okay? But for the diversity visa 2022, who applied and then you put in your applications, they told you, you put in the supporting documents, you know, we didn't cover this, but when you are selected, you have to provide your birth certificate, you have to provide your police certificate, you have to provide your, if you are married, your marriage certificate, if you divorce, your divorce decree, you have to provide your children birth certificates, your diploma. If you provided all of those documents, and then usually tells you your case is complete, now you're waiting for the interview. And your case was complete a long time ago, and your case was current, and it took months for the Department of the consulate, the Department of State or the consulate to schedule you, or you were scheduled, but you would not, and then it took them a while, they didn't give you the visa, and the time passed, meaning the deadline of September 30th. I do believe you can bring a legal action and sue the government, and who knows, whatever it's gonna happen to this, the 2020, it might happen to 2022, okay? And that doesn't prevent you from, again, applying for the DV 2024. All right, so let's get to this and then we'll be done. I think I talked so much. So so many people kept asking me, what happened to the diversity visa 2020? So it's on the website of the Department of State, the state travel.gov, travelstate.gov. So you just need to put diversity 2020, 2021, okay? Okay, now I'm just gonna read with you. And there's no other update, okay? This is the current, is of May 3rd, 2022, this is what's happening. In a few words, the US Department of State is refusing to issue these visas. So it's continuing to sue, right? To fight the case. And it is my, prediction that this case is gonna go all the way to the Supreme Court. And until then, I don't think we're going to see any movement, okay? So basically the Department of State is aware. So there are 4 court orders, okay? 4 court orders regarding the numbers of DV 2020, DV 2021. Okay, so but the Department of State is appealing these court orders because they believe the court misinterpreted the law, because once the time is done, so there's no like, you can't apply. So basically, if you applied and you didn't get selected, or if they didn't schedule for an interview, or if they scheduled for an interview, didn't give you a visa, then you lost. That's the Department of State's position. Okay, they keep fighting. So now, what are those 4 court orders? I guess that's all you need to see. Okay. Number 1, there's a DV 2020. There's an order to issue 9,095. So if you wonder, it will be 995 ku bantu batsindiye DV 2020. Okay. This is under District of Columbia, Gomez versus Biden, okay? If at the end of the road, in my opinion, all these cases are going to the US Supreme Court. If at the end of the US Supreme Court says you have to issue these visas, then they will issue these 9,095 to people randomly, to whatever people who were selected in DV 2020. So if you are lucky, I don't know how many people are still waiting, but they will issue 9,000 in a random order, okay? So that's a big if. So it may take a while, because they've been fighting since 2021, I guess, or even before that, okay? The second court order is Rye versus Biden. They're all from the District Court of Columbia, by the way. And this one reserves 966 of, I don't even know. For this one, it is particular to these people. okay? Because this came after the proclamation. I think that this 966, they were already, they were pending before these embassies. So there is a Amsterdam, Athens, Bern, it's in Europe, most of them, Budapest, Dublin, Frankfurt, Guangzhou, whatever, Hong Kong, Johannesburg, there's one in South Africa, Johannesburg, London, Madrid, Naples, Paris, Prague, blah, blah, blah. So all these, the second one is 966, but for particular individuals of these people. So they will issue this, they will, once if at the end of the road, again, all this may go to the US Supreme Court. If at the end, the plaintiffs prevail, the Department of State, they're gonna have to issue the second, like I said, there were 4 of them. Is it 4 or 3? Yeah, they will issue this particular 966 to these individuals, okay? This does not code. So if you are not from these, you know, areas, or you will not get the 900. So this is an addition to the 9,095. And then there's another one. On September 30th, 2021, the US District Court of Columbia, Goodluck versus Biden, say they must resolve additional 6,914 diversity visas for who? Okay. Hold on, give me one moment. Right. So this one, I think it's another random. I think it's Goodluck versus Biden. It's another class action. So the first class action for sure, the 9,000. This everybody is involved, like everybody in the DV 2020. So the third one, it doesn't even say for which year. Right. So I think if you look in my other video, I did a video and I shared the link on how you can go, even if you don't have to, I share the link that you can go and register to be among the class action, okay? And then there's another one for 481 visa, okay? So this is GOH v. Biden. So there are all these visas, but like I said, there's no final order. So there's you know, always the Department of State files injunction, or like injunction action, like injunction relief, so that they don't have to issue the visas right now until the case, all these cases are resolved, fully resolved, like go through the process and go, in my opinion, all the way to the Supreme Court. So, well, so what do you do if you are DV 2020 or 2021? Like I was saying, even the DV 2022, even if you can start a legal action, yeah, the legal actions we start right now, and I think you better file as soon as you can. You can still go ahead and register for the DV Diversity Visa 2024, because all these cases may take a while. Like it's been years now. It's already been how many years now? 2 going 3. So you never know when they will get to it. Okay, but there's still hope. How much hope? That's $1 million question. Okay. All right. So I hope a few people really got answers they needed. You know, and I'm gonna stop sharing. And I don't see any other questions. So I do appreciate you all for coming and you know, hear me out and see as I show you step by step how to register for the Diversity Visa 2024. And I give you an update for those who are DV Diversity 2023. This is the time. You know, you go to the visa bulletin. If your number is below, if you're from Africa, your number is below 5,700, unless you are from Egypt or some other countries. go ahead and apply right now. If you are in the US, go ahead and file for the adjustment of status. Make sure you put expedite. So passport is not, thank you, Fire, I see a question. Passport for the diversity 2024 is not a requirement. So that's as opposed to DV 2023, okay? So go ahead and apply, you don't need a passport, okay? So however though, as soon as you apply, start applying for a passport, because if you are selected, you will need a passport, okay? But to apply right now, you do not need a passport, okay? Right, so I don't have picture fire. See, I don't have a passport picture. I'm not gonna use my client's pictures. So that's, it's easy really. And and I think Fire, are you in Kigali? Uri here. Nibaza ko hari some legit, hari abantu bari gufasha abantu kubyapurika. Ariko wowe icyo ugomba gukora, umuntu nakubwira ko yagufasha kwa apurika, umubaze akwereke link ari gukoresha travel.gov. I'm gonna put here kuri no video nindangiza ndashyiraho zino links zose nagiye mbereka. I will put all these links I showed you kugira, so that even if you have someone to help you to enter the registry, you make sure they show you which link they are using, and don't let anybody charge you so much money. Like I'm not even, to me, I mean, I will help you, but when you use an attorney's time, they're gonna, we're gonna charge you money. So, but yeah, so you can go ahead and do it. If you are on TV, you go get a picture. Go the same picture, Fire TV. Ifoto ujye ukoresha passport muri passport yawe. Ntabwo nakwereka amafoto y'abakiriya banjye. I have to protect their identities. Passport, photo passport. Ugende muri Krino, ugende muri Ntumbaze, niba uri Kigali sinzaho uri. Photo passport is the same photo you ushyira, how call it? You attach, okay, with the measurement. And then you go ahead and apply. So if you want, actually, let's go back to do, because I can show you the 2023 instructions. That is how they were different. Okay. Let me see. Let me take this one. Try to get this out of the way. Yeah. Let me put 2023 DV instruction. There were specific instruction. They're specific on the passport, okay? But this year they removed it. This is to show you call it was very specific for the passport, I think. Okay. And we can always I'm scrolling down. Huh. You're right. Okay, let me do something. So you see here on the 2023 TV 55, if you see here, they say, do I need a passport? Okay. So now let's go to DV 2024. Sorry. Okay. Today I told you guys I would show you step by steps, and that's what I'm doing. We scroll down. Everything is in the instructions. There is no. So that question was on what? Let me do command. Okay. Passport, you see passport? I don't see passport. So this year they didn't put the requirement for passport. However, though, okay, see, submit a photo. There's no passport. Country for 2024. Na passport bari gusaba. Okay. I think let's keep going, but I don't think they asked for a passport for this year. And actually, 2023, that was new. I guess people complained. Let's see. Yeah, a passport. However, like I was saying, if you stop sharing. So if you are planning to travel, I will apply for a passport, but right now you don't need a passport. Now you need a passport to apply right now, to enter the lottery. This is, remember, this is to, you are really entering a lottery. Like hundreds of thousands apply, they select 55,000, and even within the 55,000, you have to be, have the number close, so you can apply. So, but as soon as you get, actually before you get selected, like I was saying, you get selected in May 6, 2023. That's when you will know if you are selected. So if you are selected in May, I don't know how long it takes to apply for a passport. So, and then that's when you start applying for a passport. You might miss out the time because, like I was saying, as soon as you become eligible, go ahead and file, because you never know how long it's going to take for them to call you for an interview. So that's why it's always better to have a passport. But yes, right now there's no requirement to have a passport to enter the Diversity Visa 2024 lottery. Okay. All right. So if there's no other questions, to sum it up again, this is Attorney Claudine Muhire Gasana. I was here to speak about the DV 2024. We went over, if you're just joining, you have to start over. We went over like, how do you enter? I put my name. I tried to upload a photo. However, because I don't have a passport photo, it didn't go through, which means when you apply, you have to have the right photo. So you go to the professionals, like photo studio. If you are in the US, you go to the Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, they take passport size photos. And then you upload your picture and you continue. You need to put your name as it appears on your passport, as it's gonna appear on your ID, photo ID, and your birth certificate. If you are married, you have to put you are married. You have to put, are you married to a non-US citizen? If you are divorced, you put divorced. If you are separated, legally separated, not just, we don't talk anymore, or we have it, like, some people, you are still legally married, you have to include your spouse, you have to put all your biological children, will say, are legally adopted. You can just say, Anita, or no, legally adopted children, step children, abana babyaranye nako abana umufasha wawe cyangwa se spouse wawe niba warashatse ufite abana, and then you submit, you continue, and they actually ask you, do you have a high school diploma or 2 years of training? There is I shared a link where you can see all the training or occupations are acceptable. And you go on, you put your address, your email, your phone number, where you live, So one other thing we covered is that the country, let's say you live here, but you are from Kenya. You're gonna put your address, you live here, but you have to apply as a Kenyan. So it's a native. Or if you are married and you and your spouse can apply. And if, say, your spouse, or you are from a country like Nigeria, Nigeria is not eligible, and you married a Ugandan spouse, the Ugandan can apply and you'll be eligible as the spouse because it's called chargeability. So we talked about the DV 2023. I shared the visa bulletin. Right now is the time to try applying. If your number is below 5,700 from Africa, just go on the visa bulletin from other countries. We talked about the DV 2022, how some people, even if they applied on time, their applications were complete, they didn't get a chance to get a visa. They go ahead and file for the DV 2024, but if you want to bring a legal action, I think you can bring a legal action against the government, the US government. Who knows, maybe there will be, and you know, you never know. So we talked about the DV 2020, 2021, the lawsuits, they are still pending. There are 4 different lawsuits with different numbers of visas to be allocated depending on whether the final decision is going to be issued. And I was saying that these all lawsuits may go all the way to the Supreme Court. Okay, so now this is very valuable information. Please share, like, comment, because there are so many people who, you know, go to write me on social media, but it's better to come here, and I appreciate those who came to and they ask questions. I do appreciate you a lot, and if you keep those questions coming in the comments, I will answer as I can, and I will leave this the links we looked. I will share in the description. I will share all the links that you're gonna need and to look for. And so good luck. This, like I said, this is a visa that I hold dear. It's a program I hold dear to my heart because it gave me a chance to come to the US. That's why I take time and come and spend this much time. I spend, I think, over an hour explaining this. So thank you, and have a good rest of the week. It's almost the weekend, okay?